Say hello to the best phone that Samsung has ever made, the S23 Ultra. I've been using this for a few weeks now. I got it on the 13th of February. Here we are, first week of March now, and I don't really have any problems with it. And this is the first time that I think I've had a flagship level Samsung phone for the first month in years and haven't had a problem with it. There was problems with the S22 Ultra. It kind of started off okay, got that first patch within a week or two, and then it just messed everything up for a long time, and it didn't really improve till much, much later. OneUI 5.1, top notch, the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2 that's powering this thing. It's good. It's the first processor that I think lives up to the expectations that were set for it in years. And that makes me really happy because one of my biggest complaints for the last probably 5 years, we've been at this 5,000 milliamp battery threshold for quite a while when it comes to these big flagship phones. But it felt like we never got the battery life. Like when we first got the big batteries, it was great. And then they came up with 90 hertz refresh rate. And then they came up with 120 hertz refresh rate. And then they came up with these LTPO displays. And they came up with 5G. And it's like, we got there. And we tasted it for just a minute. Some good battery life. And then they came up with these new features that really, for a lot of people, don't really make the experience that much better, but take away the battery life. I know some people to this day still say, I can't tell the difference between 60 hertz and 120 hertz. And that's fine. If that's how you feel, then I can't convince you that 120 hertz is better or that it looks better. It does to me, and I find value in that. And finally, the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2 combined with the S23 Ultra, the light bulb finally turned on. All the cylinders are firing at the same time. We're getting the battery life and we're getting the performance features. And we're not suffering from heavy throttling. And you might be wondering, what is throttling? Well, throttling is when they downclock the processor to run at a slower speed than what's normally advertised so you can get better battery life. There are some instances in which this is possible, like turning on light mode, which basically takes this chip in here, the special Snapdragon 8 Generation 2 for Samsung. It's clocked the primary core at 3.36 gigahertz. That's a lot. That's like basically a desktop processor speed, like a good one. So basically gaming level performance, high power functionality, lots of hertz, right? Lots of speed. And if you put it on light mode, from when I was reading, it kind of throttles it down to about 2.8, which is funny because the Google Tensor 2 is clocked at about 2.85 gigahertz, if I remember correctly. But here's the thing. Once you get to about the 2.8, 3 gigahertz neighborhood, that's pretty darn fast. And that's a lot of power. So what was happening with the Snapdragon 8 Generation 1 in the S22 Ultra, thanks by way of the game optimization service that was basically throttling everything, and not just games, it was basically throttling everything and running it like a Snapdragon 765, which is a very good chip. It was in the Google Pixel 5, very good processor. It was in the LG Velvet. Good phone. There was a lot of phones that the Snapdragon 765 went into that were top-notch phones. But you don't want to pay $1,200 for a phone that's advertised to run at 3 gigahertz and it's running like a $400 mid-tier phone so you can preserve battery life because it just runs too powerful, too hot, and the optimization just wasn't there. And I know this is a long lot of diatribe going on here that you probably don't even want to listen to. So I'm sorry, but history, it matters. So this one finally runs the way it's supposed to. And if you put it on light mode, it kind of throttles it a little bit, you get a little extra battery out of it, and it still runs at basically flagship performance. And of course, that you turn on games, it doesn't matter. Those run like they're supposed to. So they finally got it. Like they finally got this marriage between the software and the hardware and all the features to give us true all-day battery. And some people are even getting 2 days of battery. I have so many people in the comments who are like, this has been such a night and day difference from the Snapdragon 8 Generation 1 in my S22 Ultra I got last year. I'm so glad that I upgraded. Well, if you were getting good battery life and you didn't have a problem with your S22 Ultra, you likely didn't upgrade to this phone, so that probably isn't your story. And that's okay. Everybody's stories are different. Me, I'm very happy I upgraded. Now, I'm not advocating everybody go do year-over-year upgrades. Like the S22 Ultra is a fantastic phone. I said all last year, best phone Samsung's ever made. And until this phone came along, that was very, very true. And this is essentially my full review on the phone. I've been using it for coming up on about a month now. I normally would have got this out a little bit sooner. I was at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona for the last week. Before that, I was in New York for 4 days for a Realme GT3 announcement, pre-MWC announcement thing, I got invited up there. I have that phone. I've got a video coming out in the future. But this phone's good. And I've tried to capture this in kind of like some little goal-oriented lessons, like talking about battery life, talking about light mode, talking about how it sets the standard for 2023, and all those things. Very, very true. This phone is the gold standard. This is the best smartphone, I think, out there right now. The software's firing on all cylinders. We've got OneUI 5.1, all the great things there. Android 13. We've got the hardware. We've got the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2, the new image signal processor, the 200 megapixel camera, the 5,000 milliamp battery, and I think the best looking screen you can get, and a flagship phone. So they've done a good job. It's expensive. It's $1,199, but they at least gave us the baseline 256 gigabytes of storage. When I pre-ordered mine, I got the free storage upgrade. I have 512 in here. This is probably the highest level of storage I've ever had in an Android phone, and I'm very happy about that. I don't think I'll ever need more than 512 for the next couple of years. Fine, never, and then then a qualifier. But really, I don't need that much storage. I have it on my iPhone because I record all my 4K videos with it every day for the channel. I don't really do that here. I'm not shooting 8K video. I want to try and keep this realistic. Look, if you want to shoot 8K video, you can. And you can now do it at 30 frames per second. Not to downplay that. That is a marvel of modern innovation that's fantastic. I'm so happy you can do that. And you can shoot 4K 60 on the front, which is more what I care about. And if you like to do things like TikTok, short form video, all those things, this is one of the best out there in the business, especially in the Android world. So, good selfie camera, good primary camera setup. You got the great telephoto. You can basically reach out and touch the moon with it. I still maintain it's the best camera phone that you can get for taking pictures of the moon. They've got all the nightography stuff, better low light video, better low light photos. They're learning and they're doing a good job. And you're still getting 4 years of operating system updates, 5 years of security patches. And thoughtfully, I think they did this to make a lot of people happy. It's more squared off, more boxy on the sides now. So you still get a little bit of that curved edge display on the screen, but it doesn't feel so rounded like you got with the S22 Ultra. So I think it makes people a little happier. Still causing some problems with trying to get a good glass screen protector. Basically, go with the Whitestone dome glass or something similar to that. I believe AM Film has one as well. I use film style protectors on any phone that has a curved edge display. Why? Because they're very easy to apply, and I like having that not glass on top of glass feeling. Whenever you have a film style screen protector, you get better responsiveness, you get better access to the haptics, and overall it feels less like you're using a screen protector. And I have a case on mine. I'm not usually prone to dropping and breaking my phone. So, case I'm using, this one right here. This is the Cryo Armor case from Spigen. I've mentioned it in a couple different videos. It's like 20, 21 bucks on Amazon. I've got a link in the description if you're interested. It's cool because it has these little hexagonal tiles on here that allow air to pass through. And then also you got extra ventilation on the buttons and stuff. And then you've got this graphite little pad in here that helps wick away heat from it. It's kind of funny. We needed this for the S22 Ultra. This phone doesn't really get all that hot. And, well, whatever. I bought it. I thought it was cool. I like it. Also, I have the leather case, which I thought I had it in here. I love the Samsung leather case. Lots of accessories. A lot of screen protectors. Go to Amazon. You can find all sorts of good ones. If you want to get an official Samsung one, you can. They're pretty darn good. If you pre-ordered this like I did, then you probably should have spent some of your credit on that. That's what I did. I just maximized my credit and went like YOLO and got a couple cases to include this one. This really weird silicone case with a hand strap on it. Like it or love it. Some people like it. Some people love it. Some people don't want any more of it. Play on some lyrics there. But yeah, it's hard to say anything really bad about this phone. And that's the first time in a long time I haven't really had any complaints about any Samsung phone whenever it's come out. So, I mean, they made me happy there. Plus, you also get the S Pen if you feel so inclined to use it. I'm more of I use my Z Fold 4 on a daily basis. I like the bigger S Pen, but it's there. It works good. It's the best stylus for any phone you can get out there on the market. So those things are good. The camera stuff I think is top notch. I'm going to show you some photos here. We're going to take a travel down memory lane. I was in New York. I took a lot of different photos, a lot of different conditions. It impresses. It looks good. I even took some while I was in Barcelona for Mobile World Congress. Good low light, good regular light. I mean, when you're paying $1,200 for a phone, you expect to get pretty good photo shots, and this phone definitely, it does deliver. So if you want to have the best in the business, if you want to pay a ton of money, if you want to have a phone that's worth what you pay for it, I think, and you can find a way to get it through maybe a carrier incentive, trade something in, find a way to do it, then that saves you some money, then I think it'll make you even happier. But overall, I've had the phone for several weeks now. I've tested it out a lot. I've been using it extensively, SIM card in it, using it every day, and I think they've done a really good job with this phone. Again, like I said, the title alludes to it. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I think this is the best Samsung phone they've ever made. You might be wondering, what about the Z Fold 4? It's a very good phone, but there's still some limiting factors. There's still some things there that are not quite, I think, at the top of their game. This phone right here has a lot of legacy. This is what, like the 13th Note, basically. The Note, the original phablet, the Note 2, Note 3, Note 4, Note 5, no Note 6, the ever popular Note 7, Note 8, Note 9, Note 10, Note 20, and then we went to the, Note 20 Ultra, went to the S21 Ultra, S22 Ultra, S23 Ultra. So we didn't get a Note 21 Ultra, they just skipped and went straight to the S22 Ultra. They took that over, turned it into the Note, and now we have this. There's a huge legacy there. When you have legacy, that means you have things that work, things that don't work, and you just kind of change things up a little bit and continue to refine it and make a better product. On the Fold 4, 4th generation, and we've seen a lot of changes. We've seen a lot of iterative updates. We've seen a lot of things they've done that they've done right, that they've learned from, that they've come back and readdressed. I think there's still a little bit left to work out there. Of course, people don't like the crease in the screen. The cameras aren't as good as the S22 Ultra, S23 Ultra, and you're paying a lot of money for it, $17.99. Still, I think it's a niche product, mostly for tech enthusiasts, business people who think they're going to get a lot of business work done on it and just want to convince themselves of that to buy the phone. People like me who convince themselves they want to buy the phone anyway because it's cool and they think they need it. But largely, the general population is not walking around with $1,800 folding phones right now. Maybe by the year 2030, we'll have a lot more. But at this point in time, this is a better, more refined product for most people. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Great phone. Samsung's done a great job. So, thumbs up to you guys. Thumbs up, and kudos to anyone who buys one, because I think it's a good phone. I think it's going to be an even better phone over time. I think we're going to get even more camera optimization. They're going to learn how to maximize things for this new sensor, the new camera. And I think like we did last year, like the S22 Ultra, there were a lot of refinements that were made, a lot of improvements and tweaks to the phone that a year later made it a better phone than when it came out. And that's a great thing you get with Samsung. You get these years of experience, years of training and work that they do on them. So a year later, the product is going to be even more polished. So it's not a beta product on launch. They've done a good job with it. I think most people are largely very, very happy with it. It is a standard for 2023, and it's a good phone. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, and please go down in the comment section. I will get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.